We don't mind you being naked. It's all right. Don't worry. Okay, so I think what we'll do to start is I'd like to invite each person one by one to just make an introduction. So first we have Indira Becker. Where is she?
Indira Becker.
Well, and give me always a second to switch.
Okay, so we just go along the list. Yeah, next will be Jessica, and so Indira, you like just say hello. Not everybody knows you.
Hello, I'm Indira, and I'm living in the Open Sky house with John David. Hello,
actually,
everybody.
she's running the house. She keeps it all functioning. Keeps me functioning most of the time. All right. Okay, so then let's introduce Jessica.
Jessica, it's 1 second.
Okay, Radha, are you doing this? Okay.
Yeah, it takes a moment, please. Yeah.
Okay. So Jessica, we met in Rishikesh.
That's correct. Just a few weeks ago, yeah.
Right, and then we met you again at the airport.
Correct. Yes.
So
yes.
It seems like we have some destiny because you're here again today.
Absolutely, absolutely. Glad you got home safely.
Right. Yeah. Good. Okay, we're just going to go through everybody and introduce them. So now to Christine.
Christine.
You'll all have to be a bit gentle with us because Radha also is new to this and I'm new to this. So we already met, we met Christine. You want to say something?
Oh, wait. I need to put. No.
Christine, is that a new painting I see behind you with yellow?
Yes.
Yeah, looks good. So Christine is a painter. She lives in her studio. Okay, anyway, your head is a bit blocking the painting, but.
So it's my first time.
Maybe you turn your sound down a little bit. Yeah. You want to say hello?
No.
Okay, so we go on to Vishnu and Maha.
1 second.
Wow. Oh, good.
Hello.
You're on a beautiful island somewhere with the palm trees.
Yeah, it's quite nice here.
It's very hot.
Where's your drink with a cherry in it?
Well, just water.
I was going to use the same background, but maybe you can see it has the problem of melting your head.
A little bit, yeah. But anyway, I enjoy the palms so much, so I don't care.
Okay, fine. Okay, who else do we have here? Let's have a look. We have Marco is next. Yeah, Marco.
1 second.
Marco.
So, can you hear us? Wait a minute, we can unmute him.
Yeah. 1 second. I try to do 3 things at one time here.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, very good.
Okay, so I'm Marco from sunny Darmstadt.
Okay.
And nice to be joining this meeting.
Are you alone or do you have 2 little children with you?
No, today I'm alone.
But they're still around?
Yeah, they're still around. They're with the mother today.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah. Great. You don't look so bad, so it must be working out a bit better.
Yeah, sort of.
I just packed my 2 little girls off just before the meeting.
All right.
Tried to get them to eat lunch and then the mummy came and picked them up.
All right.
Okay, so Olay.
Ole.
From Norway.
Yeah, Thanks. Yeah, I'm Ole from Norway. So currently I'm staying in the countryside with my parents and sister, and I'm just working from home. So it's quite relaxed and beautiful nature. And yeah, I don't need to cook my own food or do much. So I'm quite curious.
Your mum is washing your socks for you.
Yeah,
see?
basically.
Very good. And do you use this Zoom with your school children?
No,
your-
we use a lot of online meetings, but we use Teams instead. But I'm quite used to the kind of video meetings. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Mm.
What do you use? Teams?
Yeah, it's Microsoft Teams.
Uh-huh. Okay. Because I think Microsoft is also Zoom, isn't it? Or is it Google?
It's something different, I think.
Okay. Okay, let's go and see who else is here. So we have Elena.
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Yeah. Right.
Hello. My name is Dilrupa also. And
Yeah.
I visited you, I think, 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
I'm quite close inside.
Maybe you have to turn down the volume of your computer, I think.
I got some problems with the phone. I hope you will.
The best thing is to use headphones.
Headphones? Okay.
If you have headphones, use headphones. I think it's better.
Just a second.
Okay.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why, but it's we don't get this strange sound if you have headphones.
Okay, but they don't work. I don't hear anything.
You have to
Okay.
connect. You probably have to connect them with Bluetooth. Are they Bluetooth headphones?
Oh, just a second. I'm not really technical, but
Or maybe you plug them into the computer. I don't know.
Okay, I will just leave it for now because I had problems with the hearing last 2 days. So it's perfect right now.
Okay, fine, good.
I just
Anyway,
don't want to.
It's nice to see you after 7 years.
Yeah. Greetings from Slovenia for all of you.
Okay, very nice. Did you stay in our house for some time?
No, I just visited you with a friend of mine just to see you, to meet you.
Okay.
I have a strong urge just to meet you through the book of Papaji. Maybe you remember.
Okay, I don't really remember. If it's 7 years ago, it's a long time from my memory, actually.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, fine. Yeah, good to see you.
Okay, yes. I'm glad to be here still. Okay, so let's say hello to Sylvia. But she has another name. I've forgotten which one.
Atma.
Atma. Okay, good name. Yeah.
1 second. So, Sylvia.
And you can all be
no,
thinking.
this is Sylvia. Sylvia, it's not Atma.
It's not Atma, it's Sylvia. Okay, hello.
Yes,
So
I'm still Sylvia, yes.
Are you outside in the garden?
I'm outside in a forest. So
Okay.
I live in Cologne for the others, and because there's a beautiful weather, I'm just outside.
Okay, good. We can
forest.
see you very well. Oh, very nice forest. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello
And,
to everyone.
so you're watching on an iPhone, I think.
Yes, exactly.
So it's best if you can put it on a stone or on a wood or something, because if you move it, the effect is like you're on a ship.
Okay. Oh, that's bad. Okay.
So if you can kind of place it somewhere where you don't have to hold it.
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, please say hello to Bhakti.
Difficult enough. Okay.
So we say hello to Bhakti.
Yes, 1 second. There's Bhakti. Need to find her.
Oh, we're getting many more people now. Look, wow.
Need to find her.
Hello, people. Glad to see suddenly so many people. Wow, great. So where is Bhakti gone?
Can't
Here she
find
is.
her. Where is it?
HPC.
HPC 13.
HP. Ah, okay.
Look, you just look at the name, then you see it. Yeah. Hello, Bhakti.
Hello.
Bhakti's from Japan, but she lives in Holland.
Yes.
You showed tour groups around, yeah? Japanese tour groups.
Oh, Japanese tour group all cancelled.
Right. So
Yes.
you can come and stay with us. We'd love to have you playing the piano. She's a wonderful piano player.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything's cancelled, yeah? It's wonderful, yeah? The whole world is cancelled.
Yes, wonderful.
We don't know what's going to replace it. Maybe something new will come out.
Yeah, I enjoy this.
Yeah, yeah. So who's next? Seth? Maybe Seth? I don't remember Seth, I don't think.
Who?
Seth, S-E-T-H. Look, Estrom.
There he is.
So it takes a bit time to find the buttons.
He's waving.
You have to scroll up, darling, scroll up. We've got a lot of people now, so
Yeah.
maybe I just do it. Look.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello.
Wait, I need also to give.
Here, hi.
Can you remind me where we met?
Yes, sure. It was in Tiruvannamalai.
Okay.
I was into this Ramana Tower. I just walked up and I was looking for a friend, and I entered the room and I didn't see him first, so I turned and went away. And I remember you saying something. Oh, that was short visit or so.
Okay.
Came back and I attended your Satsang talk or so for I think 2 days, but that was a few years ago.
Right, good.
I'm from Sweden.
Right, nice. It's always surprising how people remember some kind of funny moment, you know. When I said to you, if I hadn't said to you that was a short visit, probably you wouldn't be on this Zoom broadcast now.
That's probably true. Yes, definitely. Yeah.
I'm just reading a wonderful book by one of my favorite comedians. What's he called?
Woody Allen.
Oh, Woody Allen, you know, the American from New York. And when I was in my 20s, I used to go to all his films. He made wonderfully funny films. And now he's written about his life, and it's almost impossible to put it down because his life is like his films. It's completely amazing, really. And one of the things that's very interesting about Woody Allen is that he says very outrageous things to people, which are actually true, but they're the kind of things you don't normally say, if you understand me. And but he says it in such a sweet, honest, funny way that they're exactly the things that people remember years later. Okay, who else have we got? Is Victoria? Victoria? Hello, Victoria. I think you have to speed up a bit, rather.
Yeah, sorry, it's the first time, and there are many people here, and the display.
You have to scan down.
Yeah, but
Even
it
I can do
changes
it.
every time here. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Victoria, how are you?
I'm very fine, thank you very much. Today.
It's a kind of miracle, yeah? Actually, I'm supposed to be in hospital today. I'll tell I'll tell everybody about my hospital story. So I have very bad hips, painful hips.
I know.
So last week I went to the hospital to arrange a date. And normally this takes between 3 months and 6 months.
Mm.
And I joked with a joke in my voice. I said to the doctor, I can come tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, come tomorrow. I said, that's a bit quick. Could I come on Friday? So actually that was only 2 days. So on Thursday night, I went to the hospital and got into bed, ready for the operation on Friday morning. And they very kindly offered me 2 new hips. I would get one on Friday and the one on Good Friday. I thought, well, Good Friday is a good day to get a second hip. So we arranged everything. It was fantastic, like a miracle.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I have a cough. So in the morning, the doctor who was going to do the operation came to say hello. And just in that moment, I coughed. And then he said, have you had that cough very many days? Have you got a temperature? And before I knew what happened, they decided they have to do a coronavirus test on me. So instead of the operation, yesterday I did a coronavirus test. And today I got the result that I don't have coronavirus. And so now I couldn't do my operation. And so here I am, you see. But on Tuesday, I go back to the hospital and I will get 2 new hips next week, I think. Yeah. And this is amazing for me because, I've had constant pain for the last 3 months. So I'm very happy now to get this operation. I'm also happy not to have coronavirus as well. So. But anyway, I mean, I've never done this Zoom broadcast before. And, now I'm not very busy because we have no guests in our guest house. We have no seminars. So we're all kind of without any job. Me too. And so suddenly I found that this Zoom existed. I never heard of Zoom before. I was reading the newspaper and I read about Zoom. So here we are. This is my second go at Zoom. So I'm very happy to discover this new technology. And as you can see, we're not very good at organizing it, but actually it's very nice because whoever's talking gets to be big on the screen. So let's invite our friend from, which country is it? Liz. Radha?
Yes, 1 second, please.
Please, me. Hi. Hello.
Hello. Tell me your country again.
Estonia.
Estonia. Okay, this is
Yes.
Liz from Estonia. And we met in India in February in the south of India.
Yes.
She stayed with me for a week, I think.
2 weeks.
And then we met her again in Rishikesh for one day, I think. So how are you? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yes, we met. I spent the whole time in Tiruvannamalai with you, actually. So 2 weeks.
Right. Nice. So you're going to come and visit us soon, yeah?
Let's see. Yes.
Anyway, it's nice we can connect now through the internet, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then we have Atma here.
Under which name?
Atma. She's up near the top. I can do her.
Yeah.
Hello, Atma.
Hello.
Hello. You've got a very colorful background.
Yes, it's my.
Oh, your ohm. Okay.
Yeah, it's my Primus.
It's also
chanting. Yeah. Yes.
Right. Chanting. Yeah.
Yes. And it's a little bit to mask the mess after behind me.
Oh,
I hear.
I had to make a white curtain as my behind me is very messy. So
yeah.
see, we put a special white curtain.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like your shirt.
Right.
It fits to your shirt.
Right,
so I hear
right.
you go to the operation.
Yes,
that's fine. I think it's a very good thing. I have 2 friends of mine who make these operations, and they are very happy about it. It's a very good thing.
Right.
So I wish you good luck that you after that you will run on the Rhine.
Right. Well, I had an appointment 2 years ago, and then I got lots of advice not to do it. So then I left it. But recently the pain got so much that I realized I have no choice.
Yeah, but it's a good thing.
I hope we'll see in a week. We'll see in a week. I'll let you know.
Yeah, please.
And then we have Amrit here.
Can you switch?
We're switching. When you look at the screen, when you're muted, you get this red when you're muted. So once we've introduced everybody, hello, Amrit.
Hello, John David.
Okay, how are you?
Thank you. Fine.
Okay.
I have here you have an operation for hip in 1 week. It's right.
Yeah, next week. Yeah.
Good luck for you.
Have you tried it?
Pardon?
Have you tried that?
I don't understand.
Did you try the operation?
No.
Have you got a new hip?
No.
No. Okay. Okay, and then we have Mira. Wow, many people here. Who's this Mira? We can't see you, Mira. Do you have a light? Okay. Do you have a bit more light on your face? No?
Oh.
Okay.
Wait.
So let's go to Saraswati. She's called Madalena. She's our saint.
Oh.
So Saraswati is our latest resident. I'm going to have to get some water. I'll be back in a moment.
Okay, no problem. Krass, Vishnu. Ha ha ha. Ey, Vishnu, bist du in der Karibik oder was? Geil. Mit einer Adidas. Ah, mit mir und einem Adidas-Shirt. Nice. Richtig gut.
Okay, so how's Saraswati?
Hello. Good, with up and downs, and I don't know, kind of strange to be at home alone and in Berlin, and yes.
So you have to deal with your apartment now.
Not only the apartment, but like the cats, myself, like everything.
You can bring your cats here, you know.
Yes, that's nice. Thank you.
Okay, and I see a strange man who I've forgotten. Santosh. Santosh. His name is
Bojan.
Okay. Hello, Santosh.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Yeah. How's it going?
It goes. It goes. I had some trouble logging in, but when I switched to mobile data, it went. It went. And otherwise, it's going. It's going well. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Good to see you again. Yeah. Yeah.
You too.
Okay. So, is there anybody else we haven't said hello? Prema,
There's
Galaxy.
somebody, yeah, Galaxy.
Hello, Galaxy. We don't know who you are because you're quite dark.
And David, are you switching also something with the people?
Well,
Well,
maybe,
because you're disturbing my thing, what I'm doing.
Okay, so just be a bit quicker then, darling. Be a bit quicker. So Galaxy, let's try Galaxy. Who is she?
So now you can talk.
Hello?
Yes, hello?
We can't really see you. You're completely dark. It only as a shadow. Do you have a light?
Okay, yes, a little
that's
bit
better.
more
That's better.
fun.
Yeah, fine.
Yes, hello, David.
What is your name?
My name is Marion.
Where did we meet?
A lot of time in Cologne, in Hittorf.
Okay.
And when I have holidays, I come to your house in Hittorf.
Good, good, nice. Well,
Now-
everybody's on holiday now, yeah?
Now I'm in Lahnstein.
Okay, good. Okay, so I think we've introduced almost everybody. Maybe not, we've missed maybe one or two, but I think we carry on. So the idea of these meetings, besides just getting to know each other, is that I will try to have a dialogue with you. So this is quite nice because, you know, it's very personal, as you can feel. For me, it's very personal. So if you have a question or something you would like to talk about, then you just put on your page, you click somewhere. Where does she click? Can you tell them where they click?
You need to go to participant or Teilnehmer, and then you can wave a hand.
So you can just wave your hand and then rather you unmute them, yeah?
On the computer.
But you won't see everybody probably.
Yeah, and you can wave a hand on your computer. So that you can
you tell them how to do that? Tell them
yeah,
how to
you
do
go
it.
to Teilnehmer, and then you appear up there, and then you can click a hand, and then you wave that you want to speak.
I don't know what you're talking about. Can you start again? I don't understand anything you just said.
Somebody else understood me?
No. Start again. Nobody understood that.
On the bottom, there's a bar.
On the bottom.
On the bottom, okay, there's a bar, yeah.
So, and there is a word participant or Teilnehmer.
It says manage participants
Yeah,
in
that's
English.
because you are a host, but the other have only participant.
Okay, okay. And they click on there?
Then you can click, and then actually there should be a window open, and then there should be a hand you can click on, and then
Okay, then you indicate that you'd like to talk to me, and then Radha will open you from being mute, because I can only talk to one person at a time. Maybe in a week or two, I'll become more practiced and we can open up that everybody can talk. But if we try to do that now, it gets very complicated. Okay. But before we start, I just want to make a big thank you, because I think 10 days ago, when we discovered that all our income was just disappeared from one day to the other, we sent out some requests for donations. And I can see that many of you have already donated to us. So I'd like to make a big thank you about these donations, because in this 10 days, 50 people have chosen to donate money to us. And so we have enough money right now to pay all our expenses at the beginning of April. As you can probably appreciate, it's always the beginning of the month when we need, well, we need about 25,000 beginning of every month. And so we were appealing for 12,000, and the 50 people have actually donated that much money. I think it's now up to 13,000. So big thank you for that, because now our community is all going out to work. And so we hope that in another 2 or 3 weeks, there'll be some income from this work to get us through the May, you know, what we're going to need to pay our bills in May. So it probably all going to work out now. So it's a big thank you to everybody who donated. Some people were very generous and gave us 1,000 or more, and other people gave 50 or 100. And in a way, it's not so much the money as the effort to send the money. So I really appreciate all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so if anybody would like to start a dialogue with me, or has a question, or would like to tell us something really interesting, then go ahead.
Oh, Vishnu?
Okay, Vishnu.
1 second.
He's the one on holiday on an island somewhere.
Yeah, it's quite amazing way of meeting. It's so different from Sat TV.
Right.
It's much more personal. Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. When I read about it, I immediately thought this can be very good for Satsang. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but we may give up on Sat TV and start doing only Google Zoom, because I've been doing Sat TV for so many years now. We have a huge archive of meetings, so maybe it's going to come to an end, because it's a big job actually to broadcast with the cameras and everything. And this I can do much more easily myself. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's a very nice way, in a very personal way, and it's you can just do it like this. I see it very often when I'm doing conferences at the moment in home office. It's
right.
Just you pick some people and you bring them together, and you can decide if you want to have video or no video. Sometimes with no video, it's also much better. And,
and it's nice that the top of the screen, you see all the other people.
Yeah.
You can click on the arrow and see everybody.
Yeah.
So then there's a sense of community, I think. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah, not much to say, but it's very nice.
All right. Okay, somebody else like to come on?
Marco waved his hand.
Okay. Where's Marco?
Yes, here. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, right, great.
Yes. Well, I just wanted to to get in touch again, because unfortunately I missed the highlight, which for me would have been to come to India, which I didn't manage because of the situation I had, which I regret, but I couldn't do differently. And I also missed the Sangha meeting, the Sangha weekend last time. So, I'm very glad to be here and to be able to see you all.
Right.
And, so
I mean, you've been having quite a difficult family situation, but has that got a bit better now, or not so different?
Not really. It's getting more complicated. in the sense that, my wife has come to Germany now, and okay, in a sense, is for example, this weekend is the first weekend where I don't have the kids, so which gives me the possibility to participate in this Zoom meeting, which is good. Right. On the other hand, there are of course issues ongoing, and divorce upcoming, and fights happening, so it's not so easy. But okay, we'll try to take it easy.
Right. So I would like to say something about India, because this year, after my retreat, normally I go on holiday actually after my retreat. I usually take myself to a beach somewhere for a month. But somehow this year, I don't quite know why, but I didn't plan myself any holiday. So I stayed some time in the south. And then I was supposed to fly back to Germany, but I got a very strong message to go to Rishikesh. And I hadn't been in Rishikesh for the last 20 years. So I kind of a bit forgotten about Rishikesh. So anyway, I flew up to Delhi and took a taxi to Rishikesh, and spent, I think, 2 weeks in Rishikesh. And we had some meetings in a hotel right next to Lakshman Jula Bridge, which is kind of the social center of spiritual Rishikesh. And I really had a nice time, actually. I had a very nice time, and I really liked the energy in Rishikesh. It's a little different from the south. Rishikesh has got an enormous tradition for spiritual masters. There are many famous ashrams there where different masters develop their work. So many different traditions in Rishikesh. Down in Tiru, it's very much focused on Ramana Maharshi. But in Rishikesh, there are many famous masters who have very large ashrams, and many of them have got disciples who've continued the teachings, continued the tradition. And so it makes a very interesting place to visit, I would say. And while I was there, I began the preparations in an ashram where I could hold a retreat, actually. So it's a bit early to announce it, but I have the idea in October of this year to offer a 2-week retreat in Rishikesh. It's a completely new thing for me. And I would still offer the January retreat in the south, but I realize there are many people who've been with me in the south who might like to come and be with me in Rishikesh, because there's some quite incredible people who are still living in Rishikesh or near Rishikesh. And we can easily make contact with these masters, I think. So I have this plan in October. So if anybody is interested in coming to Rishikesh, because it doesn't work to come in January to the south, or maybe you've already done that 2 or 3 times, then let us know, because if you're interested, that would encourage me. We would stay in an ashram, and there would be yoga, there would be mantra singing, and so on. So it would be a bit similar to the one I've been doing in the south, but it would bound to be very different, because the whole energy in Rishikesh is amazingly different. Okay, somebody else like to talk?
Jessica waved her hands.
Jessica, can you unmute her?
1 second, I did, but it didn't work.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was just going to say, I'm really glad you came to Rishikesh. So that was the first time that I'd been to Rishikesh. So it was such a wonderful coincidence that our paths crossed.
Right.
I just had such a lovely time there, and I think that the energy there was really nice, both in Rishikesh and just with the people who came to sit in your meeting. And I just feel like I've come home with like a real much clearer sense of a lot of different things, with a much lighter energy. So I just had a really great time. I just wanted to say thank you. I'm glad you came.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always strange how these coincidences happen, because I also met you in the airport as we were both flying out of Delhi.
Yeah.
We met in the airport, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you know I'm English, actually. I don't know if I told you that, but I'm actually English, but I've lived out of England for most of my life, in fact. I left England when I was 30 and now I'm 75, so I mean, I would love some excuse to come back to England, but somehow the English are not so interested in what I'm doing, or they're not interested in me. I don't know, but yeah, it's never really worked to come to London and give some meetings.
Yeah, I can see, I could understand why that would be. I think the English are quite a closed bunch of people. And certainly London, lots of people are very preoccupied with the latest thing and doing what they're doing. So it's not necessarily the easiest place to come and start meetings. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how in Europe each country is very, very different. For example, the French are also not interested. The French are very interested in Tibetan Buddhism, because the French like this very intellectual kind of spirituality. So they've been very welcoming to the Tibetan lamas. So there's a strong presence of Tibetan Buddhism in France, but not much else, actually, not much else. And in a strange way, I don't know, I never understood how I ended up coming to Germany, but Germany is actually the country most interested in what you could call modern spirituality. So why exactly that is, I'm not sure, but I'm very lucky to have been brought to Germany, because it's the country with the most interest, and a large number of the people I work with are Germans. And actually now I'm kind of a German too, I would say.
More German than English.
I shouldn't tell my family, but anyway. Yeah.
No, that's really nice. Yeah.
For example, this story about my legs, about my operation. When we went to the hospital, this whole hospital is almost empty. It's like a ghost hospital, because the Germans have closed down all the hospitals, closed down all the regular operations, regular whatever, that medicine. They've closed it all down in all the hospitals, and they're waiting for this wave of coronavirus patients. But so far there isn't any wave in Germany. It's not really happened. In the south it's a bit bad. In Bavaria it's a bit bad for some reason. But in the rest of Germany, the hospitals, in that hospital I was in, they had, I think it was 5 people.
That's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah. It's very different here. It's not a great situation in the UK at the moment, I don't think.
I thought it was funny how the Prime Minister's got it, yeah.
And looks really unwell. Right. He's putting on a very brave face, but he's not well at all. Yeah, it's quite worrying.
Yeah. Well, from my point of well, I shouldn't say what I was going to say.
I think a lot of people would agree with you, but
right. Anyway, yeah. And even Bonnie Prince Charles got it, I think, yeah.
Yes, yeah. You need to practice what you preach.
Right. They probably, both of them are probably completely addicted to shaking hands, so.
Exactly. Telling everyone to stay 2 meters away, and then going off on lots of public engagements and getting very
shaking
close
hands.
to people. Yeah.
Okay. So has anybody got a kind of spiritual kind of question, you know, then I can feel I'm more useful, you know?
Sylvia waved her hands.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So first of all the best for your operation.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
I think went well as you have VIP status now with all the doctors around you. So you talked about India and the Sangha weekend. I just mentioned that I had contact to that people telling me about past lives.
Okay.
And so far I had no contact with this, and I don't know if this is suitable for starting a group conversation on experiences. Would just like to talk about past lives for the working up of things which happen in this life. India was interesting because now I know. So I was told about 6 past lives. Some of them were in the last century, but there have been also 2 in India. So one was near the Arunachala. So I was taught that I was there in an ashram, being a wife and disciple of a great master. And then it occurred that there was a separation because there was another woman coming to this ashram, and she had to do with more how can I say this, dark magic things, and the master was interested in that. So this is what I was told. And the other one, I'll just tell it. Was at the Ganges 2,500 years ago, and I met their Buddha. And I have to say that I have not read so many things. But as I saw this picture from Rishikesh, somehow. That was also calling, for me to probably go there. Although I have some family situation where it becomes difficult to go for 2 weeks or more than 2 weeks with traveling. What is the experience with this past life? So I was informed about them to work on things I have in this life at the end. So with trust or opening things, or not to see spiritual life as being something heavy. I was told that this was my experience in past life, and therefore I should try to get it easier. And I was born in Cologne because there's a lot of humor with carnival and all the things. So what is your experience with that?
Well, when I was a bit younger in my spiritual journey, I was living in an ashram in India, Osho's ashram. And there were many people offering to tell you what your past lives were. And I probably tried that. I can't quite remember I can't remember what they told me actually. And actually I've never been so interested to know my past lives, because actually I had enough trouble with this life. So I'm busy usually with this life, and don't have much extra capacity to worry about my past lives. I'm a little bit interested in my future lives, of course, as I'm now getting old. I'm now in the kind of winter of my life or something. So I noticed that inside me, I start to be a bit, how can I say, a bit occupied by considering the possible next move, what will happen next, And I don't really have fear about leaving this life. For example, to have an operation, it's apparently not a very serious operation, but at the same time, it's an operation. So it's one of these moments, you know, where on the doctor's paper, he asks you, you know, what happens if, you know, what happens if there's a mistake and you don't make it, you know, what are we going to do with you? Do you have any wishes, last wishes or something? So it puts you in touch with, you know, the next, something like the next. But I would have to admit, I don't have any clear ideas, really. I mean, I'm familiar with the possibility that there are past lives. I'm aware that there can be future lives, that we move from one life into another life. But I don't really know how that could work exactly. But I'm open to the possibility that it does work. I don't really have any personal information about it. Radha was just telling me this morning that she's going to meet somebody, I think it's this week, who's going to take her on that kind of journey. Maybe she would like to say something to us. And Indira has also done this journey already, and I know she's quite relaxed about talking about these things. And for example, earlier this week, her mother died. And she's been caring for her mother for the last 2 years, quite intensely. And I was very impressed by the fact that she was able to come back from the funeral of her mother in a very relaxed way. And she didn't see this as particularly terrible. She saw it actually as, you know, a good move for her mother in the circumstances. So perhaps she would also like to come in and say something. Okay, Indira, you're not really needed for German today.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's just another journey, yeah. A new adventure in a different, well, without a body, yeah. I mean, I think it's difficult with our consciousness really to imagine how it is, yeah, because I think the consciousness is much broader than we experience now in our bodies, yeah. But I'm convinced that it is very good. And definitely for my mother, who didn't have a good time in the last month, I think it's a much better place where she's now.
Did you arrange with your mother to come and tell you how it's going up there?
No, with her I couldn't. I mean, she was already too demented. But with my father, I'm arranging this. Yes, since a year I'm arranging him. I'm telling him if he passes away, he has to give me hints and signs. I know that I know it's possible.
Okay. And would you like to share something about this session that you did?
Yes, I mean, the session basically, it was not only about past lives, it was also about the space where you are in between two lives on Earth. Yeah, this is how I started to know about the session. I met in the internet. I found a guy, well, somehow I bumped into this, yeah, who accidentally discovered with his clients, who brought his clients actually accidentally into the space between lives. It's called Life Between Lives. Yeah. And then I went to a woman and did the session, which is Radha going to do. And basically, she does a regression into the lives which help you in this moment of your life. Yeah, I mean, of course you have many lives, but it doesn't really help to know that you have been then and then this and this. Yeah, so she tries to bring you into these lives which help you in this lives, maybe lives who had such a strong impact, which is still has a sort of impact on your life now. Yeah. And I must say that apart from that, it was a pretty amazing experience. It was very helpful for me. Very, very helpful in a very subtle way, but I could see some things which I never really could see in this way before, or I got in touch with some things, and something deeply really changed in me. Yeah. So this is very beautiful. I'm very grateful I did this.
Right. Okay.
So I'm still, yeah. Huh? You can hear me. You can hear me still, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, somehow it helped me also because I had so many thoughts about the situation. As I was also, I joined a meditation with a spiritual master who's also not far away. Yeah, he's in Pulheim. And there, I was remembered at the end. So this was clarified for me at the end because I made a really nice experience. But then it changed, and somehow now I think I just decided to take a karma card, so to clarify a certain thing from the past, which is still active in this life. So as to get a mirror, and this is I thought also possible with a spiritual master, he has also this disciple. A woman, and there I had also all the time the thoughts about, do I have to do something because I feel that they're doing not right things, or they're doing they're not in the light anymore. And then I had this information about the past life, and suddenly, so that's clarified for me. So I don't have these thoughts anymore. So it was just a mirror for me, and this could happen also, with other spiritual masters, right? So it's not about that I know. I was in India, so with the story, but also to understand what happens in this life. Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, as I say, I'll let you know, maybe quite soon even, who knows. I'm planning a long life, but it was, you know, I have an artist that I particularly love called David Hockney. He's an English artist, and he's somebody I've loved for many, many years, and he does quite remarkable art. Probably many of you have heard of him. Anyway, he's a very interesting guy, and he recently was saying about this coronavirus, he made the comment that the cause of death is birth. I thought this was quite insightful. Cause of death is birth. So anyway, everybody's going a bit crazy at the moment about this virus, so yeah.
So, you know, Atma waved your hands. You want to go to Atma?
Sorry?
Atma waved her hand. You want to go to
Okay,
Atma?
sure.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah, hello. I want to say something about it. I also had such experience with some lives before, but it's the same. I think what Indira says for me is not so important what there was going on. I experienced to be a man. I experienced to be in Egypt or something like that, but it explains something out of my first years in when I was 14 or 15 years old. I was always had this feeling that that life is not so important, or that I found it's enough life in me, and I want to finish in this life, and all is not stable, and everything I got I lose, and all this is not it has not substance. There is it's all a dream, or like this. It's when I was 14, 15, 16 years old. And then with 18, I had an out-of-body experience, like I was come from sleep. And when I wake up, I was not in my body. I was on the above of my body. And I saw my body, and it was so very silent place, and I don't want to go to my body again. But the body pulls me back, and when I was in my body, then I think, oh shit. It felt very. There was this summing in the body that disturbed my silence in this moment, and then I fell into sleep, and in the morning all was like ever, but the remembering of this experience in the night is I can experience this in this moment too as very near. And now since I'm with you, this all makes sense, what I feel my life. I thought I was perhaps I don't want to live like a depression, but it was not a depression. It was only this feeling of enough life. What do you say about this feeling, what I have?
Well, actually, this thing about depression and the self is interesting, because when people talk about being depressed, it can be that they are looking into a kind of blackness, kind of emptiness, or kind of nothingness. And they call that a depression, because most people are very caught up with their mind, and they're caught up with the movie of their mind and all the excitement of the constant drama of the mind. And so when suddenly everything gets rather quiet, and they seem to be staring into a kind of void, into an empty void, they can feel something is wrong. And then, for example, for people who are active spiritually, many of these people have had some moment when, well, what I call Satori moment. Satori moment is a moment when they've suddenly, for no obvious reason, come into a black void, a kind of black void. When I would talk about this black void, I would talk about it as luminous, kind of with light in it. It's not like people maybe describe it when they're depressed. It's not some sort of heaviness, but rather it's something luminous, but it's still a blackness. And in this blackness, actually there's a feeling of everything is all right. In fact, everything is perfect. And it may be even you can experience that you experience tremendous love. So your relationship with other people, your relationship with nature, your relationship with existence itself shifts into something very, very wonderful and lovely. So people describe what I call a Satori moment as maybe the best moment of their life. But then, of course, people who are depressed don't describe it as the best moment of their life. They describe it maybe as the worst moment of their life. So actually, this is a bit interesting, I think, that apparently the best moment of your life and the worst moment of your life seemingly is not manifesting so differently. So this might be actually something interesting to investigate. If anybody right now would like to comment on this. Personally, I haven't got much personal experience of depression. So this is not something I've personally experienced in my life, I don't think. Maybe sometimes. But I've certainly experienced the other that I'm describing as Satori moment. So I've been very lucky to have moments where I felt tremendous ecstasy, which, you know, continued not just as ecstasy, but as a deep peace inside. Maybe somebody would like to discuss this possibility of them both manifesting a bit similar.
Yes, I can talk. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
I can talk. My mother was in depression, and she always wants to die, and she always wants to not to live, and there was a sadness inside of her, and so I thought I was in the same state, but obviously what you say, it was another state, but I don't know it at that time. My sister and I, we are very near, and I told her about this feeling that I have there inside of me a layer of fear, but beneath this fear, under this fear, there is darkness. And I told it to my sister in a we had a silent time together, and she said, "Oh God, don't do this. You will get mad. Don't go there. Go into the world, make some fine things and something like that." And I do this because I have fear in this moment that I go crazy. But since I'm with you and with these teachings, some of this experience of my past make more sense, and there is a difference between a depression that goes into sadness and this darkness. This has another grounding. I can't describe, but it's completely different. And someone who is depressed can never have any joyful feeling. And with all this darkness I felt in my life, I can also be very happy and also be have fun in life. But it's not a fun that I want to go outside. And now I felt, yes, this is to go inside, and that's what I had never been taught before.
Right, right. Would somebody else like to share their experience of these two things, or maybe of one thing?
So Saraswati, Sylvia, and Vishnu waved their hands.
Okay. So maybe you choose Vishnu.
Vishnu, where's he gone? Yeah.
Okay. If you can leave your cocktails for a moment.
Okay, now I can speak. Well, I would say both states are quite common for me. And the state of depression is, just in my case, it's something completely different. This is energy that's I can see it rising, and it's just, it's hard to describe, but I can see it comes and it blocks everything. It's the complete opposite of being quiet. So just in my case, I can't compare it. It's just, if you're in this quiet place, and even if the darkness is coming, it's comfortable, and the other one is like a malfunction. And both you can't manipulate. You can't change. They just do what they want.
Right. So in the past, you had periods when you were kind of what people would call depressed?
Oh, this is something coming regularly to me. Yeah, still. I thought it would go away. The quieter I become, it would go away, but it doesn't go away. It's still coming sometimes. I can't say what's the release for that, or what it makes come, but it's still coming.
You also,
so even if I'm having a very quiet and nice period, it still can come out of the blue.
But also you have at times when this other quality of blackness is there, what you could call static blackness.
Yes. I'm quite happy guy at these times. Yeah. It's also coming like out of the blue, and there I'm laying or I'm walking, and then there's not much.
So you can easily discern the difference, judge the difference between these two.
Yeah, it's completely opposite.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Right.
The only common thing is that it's coming, and it's very powerful, and I can't do anything. That's the only common thing. But how they work, it's different. The one thing is soothing and beautiful and amazing and liberating, and yeah, no fear, no nothing. Everything is cool. Everything is cared of. And the other thing is like being strangled.
They just take you over. I mean, it's nothing you have done really.
No.
You just get taken over.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, anybody else like to share?
Saraswati and Sylvia waved the hand.
Okay. Or maybe Saraswati because Sylvia started it, yeah?
Okay. So, yeah, I think sometimes it's kind of the same like Vishnu just told. Now I can speak why I don't have anything to say anymore. I think we have both, like life is about like darkness, and it's also bright. It's lovely, it's shit, it's like birth and death, it's everything. So I have also these feelings of, yeah, it's amazing and da da da. And then it's also changing, like when something really crashed, like in the last weeks, that my flatmates went to Spain back, like from one day to the other, felt like, and I don't know, just everything is crashing and you have to manage everything. Felt like at the same time to, yeah, you're losing the ground under your feet, and yeah, can't hold anything anymore. Like everything is under control, out of control. I like it, but when it when it affected myself, like the flat, money, my cats, like I have to manage somehow, then it's shit, and so I was really overcharged.
But I mean, you're going to look back on this time without your cats and your apartment, and in 3 months' time it'll be old history, and somehow existence is always supporting us, you know.
Yes, I know.
And this is maybe one of the things that happens as you get older, that as you get older, you see the balances in life. You know, there's good stuff happens and not so good stuff happens, and shit happens, you know, and even when shit happens, somehow we're taken care of, you know, we're taken care of. For example, I'll tell you something today. Well, yesterday, the art gallery, you know, we were running an art gallery here. So the art gallery sent out to all our art gallery people about the situation that, you know, Open Sky House community is having trouble to maintain the house. Mm-hmm. And of course, the art gallery doesn't pay any rent. It's part of the community in one way, but it's a separate business. And asking if anybody would like to give a donation to support the community, because the community supports the art gallery. And this morning I woke up to the fact that I think it's a doctor and his wife. They had bought 2 paintings some months ago from a Spanish painter that they like very much, Ilfonso. His name's Ilfonso. And anyway, they wrote and said that they were reading that we were a bit in trouble here, and they would like to buy 2 more paintings. And they would also ask for the same discount they got last time, but this discount they would give as a donation to the community.
Nice.
So yeah. So it's always interesting that I was saying to Turia, you know, that the world is full of nice people. Yes. And not so nice people, and yes. We always forget about the nice people because we always imagine the worst thing is going to happen to us, you see. But this couple are clearly very nice guys, and you know, maybe they don't particularly need to buy 2 more paintings, but they thought, well, by buying these paintings, we'll be supporting these guys, and they're doing that. You know, they probably have the money to do that, so they're getting something they like, and they're giving us support. So in some strange way, existence kind of orchestrates all those things. Like with my operation, you know, I thought I was going to have to wait 6 months for the operation, and they told me you can come tomorrow. So that's because the hospital is empty because of this virus. If the virus wasn't happening, it would be full of old people having hip operations.
Yes.
Now, of course, they're too scared to come to the hospital.
Yeah, good for you.
It suits me because I'm not scared to go there.
Yes, really good for you. Yes.
So in this way, existence is giving, always giving, and you know, it's always in a way you can say looking after us.
Yeah, that's true. I had, for example, the wish that once I have a flat for my own, you know, and now it's like this. I have the whole April, I have a big flat for my own. It's kind of amazing, really. I never experienced that before. I never had my own flat. I was always living in flat shares.
So you should take, I mean, as you can't probably do anything about it anyway, you can maybe just have to accept the sort of financial loss and say, well, I'm getting a loss in the cash, but on the other side, I'm getting an experience I never had in my life before, which maybe is very good for you.
Yes, I think so. I really enjoying it. You know, nobody is disturbing me. Yeah, I can
You
do
have to be
what
careful,
I want.
you'll have to be careful, or some of the community will come and live with you.
Oh no. No, okay, depends who it is.
Oh, you have choices. Aha, okay.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah, it really depends. You can, yeah, it can be annoying, but don't have to.
Anyway, I see you have an exercise machine next to your bed, so you keep yourself fit, yeah?
It's kind of broken. Yeah, but I can use it again. So yeah.
Okay. Anybody else like to come in on this talk, this discussion? By the way, my intention with these Zoom meetings, I mean, I don't really know how they're going to develop, but I'm not interested in talking nonstop for 2 hours. So my idea is that in the nature of this Zoom, we can have a kind of dialogue together. And at the moment, we're just having one person at a time talking because we're a bit new to this. And when you talk, you get to be on the main screen. So to have many, many people coming on the main screen is probably too much, but we'll see how it develops. Anybody else like to? I see Chaitanya, Annette. I don't know who you are, but you're laughing a lot. So maybe you'd like to come and say something.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know you?
1 second.
Unmute myself. You have to unmute me, I think.
Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah, now we're hearing you now. Yeah.
Hi. We met in Tiruvannamalai some time ago, I think 2 or 3 years ago. And
Okay.
I just seen your email like an hour ago, and I actually asked Radha to send me the password, which I didn't have. So I came into it a little bit late, but I'm enjoying being here. And it's my first Zoom meeting as well. It's interesting. So while I was listening, I was testing out how it works as well, but I think I got it now.
Right, right. No, I mean, this is only the second time I've used it, and it seems to me that it has wonderful possibilities, actually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is. It's incredible. And like I've been here now 15 minutes, and I feel like I'm getting warm with it. I can feel you close. In the beginning, it's a bit whoa, no? But now it feels good. It feels like sitting in satsang.
Right. And also, I think, you know, as we would get to know each other, inevitably people will kind of choose themselves who really like to come into this. And so we'll get a group which will mostly know each other, and that also makes it more relaxed later on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, beautiful.
I mean, next week I'm going to be in hospital, but in the weeks after, if I have time, I'm planning to do more of these meetings.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. So anybody got a juicy question? I think we have another half an hour, so we have time for something else.
Sylvia waved her hands. Sylvia waved her hand.
Okay, so go ahead, go ahead.
So it was not for a new question, so it was waving my hand for the questions of depression, and so I can, from my experience,
fighting off the mosquitoes in the forest.
Yes, but anyway, so it's nice in the sun. Yeah, so in the past, so I know these feelings of depression, and I was more in the suffering. So I was more, I would now say, more in the body suffering, and focused on suffering. And now when such things come, it's more like very deep unhappiness. So it's not a nice feeling, but yeah, somehow it develops that I have to cry, but on the next day I feel better, lighter. So that I don't know exactly, but it feels like it's somehow something like a cleaning. Yeah, so I don't know if it's a cleaning of the body where things are stored, or it's somewhere energy which is stored and has to be clarified. So somehow it feels
For
like
example,
that.
if you find yourself coming into this very strong sadness, yeah, then you could ask yourself, who is sad? You know, who is sad? Because you know, one of the reasons we can easily fall into unhappiness or depression and so on is that we're actually very identified with our box of tricks, you know.
Yes.
And inside our box of tricks, it's like an artist's palette. You know, we have over here sadness, and we have maybe over here depression. Over here we have happiness and peace, and there's a whole spectrum of different emotions, feelings, and they're all given to us. And, you know, in a way, living our life includes tasting all these different emotions. And what tends to happen is that we say, you know, I feel sad, because we have some idea that we should never be sad. We have always the idea, well, I'm always supposed to be happy. I want to be happy, 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 happy. Can you imagine how boring it would be if you're always happy, 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 happy? So this
That would be nice.
Maybe not,
Yeah.
you know, maybe it wouldn't be. So you only really know happiness if you also experience sadness, for example. And sadness can take you very deep inside, actually. So if we don't put onto it some kind of judgment, you know, I shouldn't be sad, just leave it as it is and go into it, allow it to be there, be present with the sadness. Anyway, I know that the sadness will change quite quickly, because all these different emotions are fairly superficial. They're not going to stay if you allow them, if you don't fight them, if you accept whatever the emotion is in any moment, completely, totally, it almost immediately starts to change. And the movement of those feelings is always deeper and deeper inside. And in the end, it always takes you to truth. It takes you to consciousness, because the reality is we're not this box of tricks. We're actually consciousness. So when you're not so identified with this mind, this box of tricks up here, all the dramas of our life that we remember all the time, when we kind of can forget all that, when we can disidentify, then we fall deeper inside, and it takes us where? It has to take us to who we really are, and who we really are is consciousness. So we come always to this kind of black, shiny, luminous void that I was talking about, emptiness, where there's, in fact, the fruit of that is not sadness, I would say, but is a feeling of, it's all right like this. It's nice like this. It's like peace. It's like we don't need to change it. It just feels, there's a feeling without a label. We don't have to label it something, but there's something that is just something we can even recognize. I mean, you actually, we could call it love, but calling it love is a bit complicated because we have all kind of ideas about what love is. And we don't have an idea that love could be this very deep feeling, which some people might call depression. Maybe depression and love is, dare I say it, not so different.
Yes.
So I don't know if that might provoke somebody to say something.
You can hear me already. So what I can see is that if depression is arising, or depression feeling, or whatever, the more you can watch it, the quicker it changes, and the less harsh and strong it can get. You're not getting drowned by it anymore. So the ability to watch it it's quite important, and not
because the
to judge
ability,
it.
the ability to watch it is also an ability to understand that you're not this never-ending movie playing in the box of tricks, you know. I mean, this is a major moment in our lives when we come to realize that where we've been living our life for so many years, our whole life has basically been caught up in this box of tricks. And we call this my life, you see, and we're completely identified with this my life. But when suddenly we see and we'll start to question this my, what is this my? Who am I? You know, who am I? Very basic question. And when we start to get a sense about this I, then a lot of things start to change. And once you then would come to a particular moment where the I kind of melts away or destroys itself, this is a profound shift in your life. You'll never be the same again, actually. And what I call Satori moments is a kind of taste of that, you could say. So it happens maybe spontaneously for some moments. And this is like a taste, and it can be a very powerful taste. And maybe some of you are in this broadcast today because you've had this taste.
Yeah, no. Well, I actually wanted to say something with the question before, yeah, with depression and love, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, well, with depression, it's the feeling to be cut off, and so you feel very separate, yeah, very separate from everything. And love is actually the opposite, yeah. It's a sort of feeling of being connected to everything, to be connected to yourself, to be connected what's really happening in the moment, yeah. And this gives the feeling of love.
Right, right. Well, we've been running now for 1 hour and 45 minutes, so I can see that personally I'm getting to a limit, actually, because I find this is quite intense, you know. Maybe this is what's so beautiful about this Zoom, which is a bit different from Sat TV, but in this Zoom, it feels very, very intimate with each person who speaks. So anybody who hasn't spoken, maybe you'd like to say something, because probably you will experience this broadcast a bit differently if you just step in, and even if you only say a few words. We've got 15 more minutes. Okay, Ole.
Yeah. Yes, I would also say that I really like this kind of broadcasting. And I was also thinking about it because now, due to the virus, it's very difficult to travel. So I was thinking about like when would I be able to go to Satsang again? But yeah, now it feels a bit like being part of a Satsang. So it's really convenient for me being in Norway, and yeah.
Yeah, the amazing thing is that wherever we are, doesn't matter. You can be in Australia, America, Norway, Germany. It's completely intimate. Yeah, I find it quite powerful. I mean, in some ways, it has. I mean, when I give a meeting and there's 20 people sitting in the room, of course, maybe energetically you feel the energy of those 20 people. But in a way, it's not so intimate because you look out, you look at the room and you see all these different people there, and there's a certain energy of everyone together. But in this broadcast, you're very much meeting each character, so to speak, as well as the energy of each character.
Yeah, I agree. It's a different experience, but I can still feel the energy in a similar way, especially when you're speaking.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, as I say, next week, unfortunately, or fortunate for me, but I'll be busy with my hip operation. But once I've got out of all that, I won't be able to run around very much. So the only thing I can really do is go to the clinic where they rehabilitate me. And when I'm not being rehabilitated, I plan to have some of these kind of meetings, because all I can do basically is not much running around. Takes about 5 weeks before I'm back to fairly normal. So anybody else like to come through, and then we'll maybe just sit quietly together for 5 minutes. It seems you can just kind of disappear. There's some people I don't see anymore. So it's also, it's easy to come in and easy to go away. So that's also nice. So I think we just, let's just sit quietly for 5 minutes before to finish, yeah? Okay, so I think that's it for this first Zoom broadcast. And as soon as I get a bit settled, I'll be emailing you and we'll carry on. So thank you all. Very nice afternoon. Thank you for your contributions. And we have we have many empty rooms in our guest house, and we're offering them as a very nice place to make your own personal retreat. So if you feel to come and be in retreat, you're very welcome. Okay.
I think you need to